pretty windy over here, not gonna lie, but at least we put in this mic to the test. I think this thing just looks so funny when I walk with it. It's like, oh my god, did she just catch a squirrel somewhere from the bushes or what? Beautiful neighborhood here. I enjoy it very much. But let's get to the topic, because I feel like everybody needs to hear this from time to time. Some of us maybe more often than others, because I'm one of those people that you may know it or not, but it's easy for me to fall into the low vibes and stay there for a long time and feel miserable for myself, and I don't think it's healthy, and I don't want anybody to be like that, but sometimes we just can't help it. Now in this area I gotta watch my step because something is under construction and I don't even know what I'm stepping on. If you see me fall on camera, it's gonna be hilarious. But I just want to say that we all get into those low modes. I'm sure if you don't, you're a lucky son of a bitch, and I am so jealous. But the key to get out of it is just not to stay in it for too long. So we all need and require from time to time, sometimes very often, a little reset. Now your reset may be very different from mine, and that's okay, but I just want to say it's doable even within 24 hours. Yes, even magic can happen in 24 hours. It's all about here and your mindset, and just really start thinking differently and looking at situation very differently, because anything can happen in a second. You can lose your life in a second. You can get into an accident and make somebody else lose their life. You know, anything can happen within a second. So don't tell me nothing can happen within 24 hours. You can do so much within those 24 hours, even the hours that you're sleeping, if you get a good sleep, that you would be surprised. And the older I get, the more I start thinking about my body as a factory, from the way I feed it, the way I train it, the stuff I teach it. I really see our body as, and our mind as a factory that sometimes really needs a little reset, and just like any computer, even a little push of the button can do a magic trick. By the way, the self-driving cars here are everywhere. I don't think I see them that often in my area where I live. So this is kind of not new to me, but I see them just more and more often. Every time I visit, there's just some new gadget that they're trying here, or something new that's just not seen in every state or every city. Like for example, and excuse my out of breath motion, but it's really hilly here. For example, earlier we walking and these DoorDash drivers are on scooters, and they have these special gloves on the scooter so they don't get cold. And they look like little ninjas. They're just waiting in front of restaurants, taking orders and delivering people's food. So it's not like in LA where they have those little robots, you can kick them on the ground, probably steal them, break them, whatever. Here you have real people having real jobs on real scooters. It's refreshing, and it makes sense because the parking here can be horrendous. And maybe I should take a little break here. And by the way, why am I walking so fast? Like, this is for a video more than for me walking, but I'm just so used to walking quick that I forget that I'm on a video and I should watch my breath, blah blah blah. When I was talking about the button that can reset you mentally, physically, whatever, the button meaning your reset button, I don't want you to see it as something naughty. Let's not go there, that's for another debate, and it's personal stuff, so why would we even talk about that? But I meant it as something that just creates a shift in the way you look at things and see your current, probably very shitty in your eyes, situation. When people talk about breath and breath work and meditation, it sometimes makes me really annoyed, because I always see there's something hippie dippy and you know, like, why would I want to be a hippie like that? But at the same time, all this stuff actually works. You know, just taking a break and taking a deep breath about current situation and what can you do with the current situation, with that given moment and your current abilities and possibilities. It's a good way to really just sit down for a little bit, take a deep breath and really think critically, not emotionally, but logically. And that would be the number one step to really declutter your mind. You may want to put it on paper, just journal about it first. I personally don't like to do that. If anything, I would just do bullet points of what's on my mind, what needs to be changed, and maybe side-by-side comparison on certain situations. But overall, it's good to get it out of your mind. And it can mean different things for different people. Maybe some people like to do video about it, you know, some people like to vent out to friends or family. For me personally, I don't like doing that. I like to kind of deal with my own stuff on my own. And if you're in the same category, maybe you're gonna find these tips a little helpful. So not only there have been situations where I was not only worried for my life, but for my well-being, for just my mental capacity being overflown. And you know, I've been in so many really bad situations and mentally challenging. However, people like me with addictive personality, it would be so easy to slip into something like, let's say, drugs, smoking, stuff like that. So I don't even go there. I don't even get myself to be near it or near anybody who does these things, because I know I would love it. I would fall in love with it and nobody would get me away from it. So I already know my danger zone. So people that medicate their feelings or try to help their current situation, those things are just taking you away for a moment, and then those medications just make it 10 times, if not even worse, later on. So in my opinion, it's not worth it, especially if you have addictive personality and you know about it. Not a good decision. So I deal with everything on my own, and it's been a hard job for the past 34 years, but that's how you become strong. That's how you build your own self-respect and self-healthy confidence, because you overcome some shit. And we don't have to get too personal because it's a YouTube video, you know, this is not my therapy session, but I think a lot of people just see the online life as something that's the only layer that's there. They don't see anything else that people don't share. And rightfully, right? Like, how else you say it? It's good that they see this side of you, but at the same time, there's so many other layers that people don't see, and even the most successful people, you wouldn't even know how their real life really is, because all they post is these successful pictures, successful stories, successful videos. But the reality can be so different. And yeah, I can be talking about myself in this scenario because, you know, why would I post some whining video or a picture, you know, crying out loud and making a victim of myself? First of all, I'm not like that. Second of all, it shows that you're a weak link in my eyes. And third, maybe we just build differently. And people that find it comforting to be the victim and having people telling them, oh, I'm so sorry for you, blah blah, maybe that makes them feel good. For me, it would make me feel like shit. It would make me feel like I'm a freaking loser. So since this topic is titled Certain Way, and I would like to, for once, stick to the topic that I picked, let's declutter the mind first. Let's put it on paper if you need, maybe even record a voice memo for you to hear later and feel kind of silly about it, because you're gonna see within even a couple of days that what a silly idea did I have. Did I wanted to do this or that? Why was I so mean? Or why did it even, you know, like, you're gonna see things from totally different perspective even 24 hours later. So I would suggest to do that, even if you need to see yourself in a video. Great way to do this when you're depressed or feeling really low. Last time when I did this, I took a picture of me when I was like bawling, crying, and now anytime I see the pictures, like, you know, it makes me feel like, so this is not me. Like, why did I feel like that? So it's good to have that little memory. Why is this shadow so weird? Or maybe it's just on the camera. So I would start there. I also recommend to declutter and clean your space, because messy space, especially a messy home, it means a messy mind. And if you want to start fresh and reset, clean your house, clean your shit, clean your home, clean where you live. That's all I'm saying. Even if it's just a room you're renting, whatever, clean that room, clean the bathroom. It looks like it's not much, but it makes a hell of a difference. It does magic, and plus it looks good, and you're gonna feel better in a space like that. These trees are so beautiful, so beautiful. Another way that helps me personally, and it may help you, and maybe you already know this, is playing some really good music that vibes with you, not just sad music or anything melancholic. Go for music that actually makes you feel good. And if you need to cry, cry. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe just don't document it unless it's just for yourself. But you can get through it, no matter what the situation is. I guarantee you it can always be worse. And that's why I always tell myself, it can always be worse, Veronica. So put on the music, clean that house, cook yourself some good food, and move the F on, because you're here for a reason. That's what I'm telling myself too. You're here for a reason, so might as well push through it and see what's on the other side, because oftentimes than not, the real blessing comes after a real big shit show, or two, or three, or a really bad period of your life. Comes the sunshine and the light at the tunnel. So faith is really important. So is faith, because we all have some kind of destiny, I believe. But if you don't have faith, you have nothing. Just like in relationships, if there is no trust, there is nothing to build on, really. Now look how nice and steep this is. I love streets like this. This keeps me moving, man. This is so fun. And you don't have this in Florida right now, so I am enjoying every bit of it. I'm sure a lot of these things that I'm saying are very common sense, so I don't want to dwell on something that we all know is pretty doable when you try to reset your life. But there is one thing that I thought of recently, and that is, once you start looking more to the sky and to the moon and start feeling that you're such a little part of this world and your problems are so minuscule comparing maybe to countries elsewhere and the way they live their life or other people's scenario. Like I said, it can always be worse, but also once you start looking up and realizing how small you actually are, not that you don't matter, you are part of the puzzle of life, but it makes you start thinking that, you know what, it's just one of those days or times in my life, and we're gonna push through it. It's just that one hiccup that, if you don't let it, it's not gonna develop into avalanche, but it's all on you. And yeah, let's just be hippy-dippy for a moment and burn some incense and sit in quiet and just be. You don't have to really meditate, because you're only gonna probably feel worse and worse. Try to think of shoulda, coulda, woulda, or whatever, whatever situation. But if you just sit and just be for a moment, like I'm right here, just stand and be for a moment, even though I want to run up the hill, document it, and breathe like an old goat. It's, and you know what? Oh, no, I'm wrong. It kind of looked like the Winding Street, but it's in a different neighborhood. But this is so similar, let me show you. Look at this. So I look up here, and then it's like, whoa, but it ends here. So it's not the Winding Road, or whatever this famous San Francisco road is. That's just down that way, so we can walk there next. But yeah, just sit and be quiet maybe too. And you know what, when I talk about these documenting and decluttering your mind, so when you do stuff, do it for yourself. Don't ever do anything for other people. Meaning, if you're gonna be kind, yeah, you gotta be kind to other people, but What I mean is all this posting shit and like pretending to be something you're not. If it's not you, like why post about it? And same with these problems, like these temporary situations that make you cry, make you feel low, make you feel depressed. That's not you. That's just a temporary moment, and sharing it with the world is kind of a big deal. So keep it to yourself. Detox from those social media. Detox from posting for a while. Maybe kind of disappear, take time for yourself, and think about your own personal well-being and what's good for your soul, not just what looks good on your Instagram timeline. Now look at this view too. I don't know if I can zoom in. I don't know how to work this camera, but it's beautiful. That's all I'm saying. It's really pretty behind me. You should see it. I just noticed that maybe my mic wasn't even on most of the time, so hopefully that's not true. I would be so mad about that, because with all the wind, that would be really disappointing, so hopefully that's not true. Just to quickly close today's video, and even that 24 hours of yours, and let's just say it's 24 hours, even though it's really not 24 hours, it's maybe 12, maybe not even. If you're laying in bed and crying your eyes out, it's probably like 8. Doesn't matter. That day when you're resetting your mind, your life, that one day should end with something symbolic. Maybe you're burning a candle that's actually not toxic, because most candles are really toxic. You should read about it and research yourself. But it should be something symbolic. It can be blocking somebody's contact, deleting certain messages, images, videos, blah blah blah, just to start over and to make you feel like you're doing something symbolic. I shot at this location so many times before. I actually have pictures on these stairs. I don't know if I can find them. They're somewhere deep down a hard drive, but I have so many amazing and surreal experiences and memories from this town. It's kind of incredible. Hopefully I was making at least a little bit of sense, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm not huffing and puffing so much. Bye!